So again, we're faced with a pandemic that is raging on. It is taking the equivalent of a 9/11 every day in terms of lives. We have exceeded 25 million cases. Places worldwide are being ravaged, and the rollout of the vaccine has hit a snags. It's hit several snags. One is the manufacturing. We don't have the stockpiles. A lot of states are short. Then the way that we distribute the vaccine, first it was the old people. First it was the essential workers, then it's the old people, and then down the line. And now we have the biggest problem we have is the people that they were supposed to be looking out for, the black and brown communities, are now very distrustful, and they're distrustful for any number of reasons. You will talk to people, and the first thing they'll talk about is Henrietta Lacks and the Tuskegee experiment, and then we have a bunch of urban myths. Now, if Hank Aaron dies, all of a sudden, was it the vaccine? It isn't uncommon for 86-year-old men to die. They're a lot closer to the end of the game than the beginning. But the bottom line is there is something that needs to happen. Our communities in particular are being ravaged. Our communities in particular are the ones who are suffering the most. Our communities in particular, I don't know a black or brown person that isn't personally affected by somebody who they lost to this virus, to this disease. So we are faced with the fact that something must be done. And if everybody sits back and waits, this thing gets worse and worse. And now we have the introduction of new variants. There's a South African variant. There's one from Europe. The California has its own variation that apparently the California variation has plastic surgery. So what we have to do is decide which way it's going to happen for us. Because when people get this disease, it is very bad. I personally know people that have just passed right now. I know one of my dear friends is in the process of doing it. Now, I think you would look awful silly in bed dying of nothing. Because inaction is just that. But I think no matter what we decide, it has to be based on information that you trust. It's interesting that there's some people you do not trust no matter what. You will not take the advice of medical professionals or people who study epidemiology and people who are infectious disease experts. But you'll poo-poo them, but you'll go on the internet and see somebody in a white coat and you'll believe what they say. I heard this guy said this, and my friend knows somebody that says this ain't. We are dying from this disease, and we are also dying of a lack of trust, and we are also dying from misinformation. So all I can tell you is this: you have to be your biggest advocate. You have to decide what is going to be best and for you and your family. But that decision has to be based on well-researched information. Not some trail on the internet. Not some you need to talk to the people that you would talk to if you thought there was a danger to you. The people that you trust if you thought there was a danger to you. If something was seriously wrong with your car, you wouldn't talk to somebody you prayed with. If somebody was wrong with your teeth, you wouldn't do the same thing. So the people that you trust that have gotten you this far, the people that you trust for your health, the people that you trust for your physical well-being, are the people you need to get the best information for and then make a decision. You do not want to just sit around and do nothing. And if that's the information, at least let it be well-informed, well-researched. Because, yes, you could die of the disease. Most people do not. The vast majority of people do not. But you don't know what your particular situation. We had a guy who was very healthy, Seco Smith. He looked like he was the picture of health. He looked like he'd be okay, and he wasn't. Whatever you do, either you're going to take it or you are not. Do not die of nothing. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.